Hello everyone, welcome to this video. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Security Plus Certification Exams number SY0-601. What changes from SY0-501 to SY0-601? The key objective here is what we'll cover about the exams, the Security Plus exams. We'll look at the testing details, the percentage in terms of domain, what changes from SY501 to 601, that is what is new in SY601, and how to prepare for these exams. These are all the objectives that we're going to cover in this tutorial. So what is it all about this important Security Plus? Security Plus is a global certification, meaning the holder of this important certification is globally recognized. It validates the baseline skills required to perform a particular job in area of cybersecurity, and also some other requirements in area of IT industry. So Security Plus is a baseline cert for the US DoD and other federal agency. It's a complete requirement for DoD 8570, which is now the 8140. So holding of a Security Plus fulfill the compliance requirement for IAT Level T, 2 for the DoD requirement, that is the 8140 now, and Security Plus comply with the ISO 17024 standards. So if a holder of a particular certification fulfill that particular requirement. Is a hands-on technical skills. The new SY601, which is based on the job or role of a particular individual, the skills that is required for you to perform a particular job. So that is how this new exams is tailored based on your function or the job or the role that you're going to perform in a particular industry in terms of providing service. Cybersecurity best practice. Security Plus implements cybersecurity best practice. That is, it's applicable to all industry best practice to respond to various cybersecurity threats, vulnerability identification, vulnerability management, and different attacks within a respective organization to manage those different attacks. So previously on the SY501, which is going to retire on the 31st, July 31st this year, which is 2021. It will be retired, making a way for the SY601, which will be effective on as of August 1. So a certified candidate for the SY501 fulfill requirement that that person possesses the skills that to install and configure system for security of applications, network, and devices. So that also means that if you hold this particular certification, you are able to perform in terms of a threat analysis and respond to various incidents and threats. The possession of this 501 certificate means that individual is able to mitigate the different threats to a particular organization, be able to apply policies, be able to apply laws and regulation, and also the individual is able to respond to make sure that the confidentiality, integrity of availability of information is protected, which is the bedrock of information security, the tenet of information security, that is the CIA. Some people or other organizations, some individuals in the security field will call it the AIC to differentiate it from the CIA, which is a federal agency. So that is but the core the all important area of cybersecurity is for you to provide protection for the CIA. So on the 601, as of August 1, 2021, it will be effective. And what that means is that if everybody that is going in for this certification in terms of Security Plus, they will be certified. They will will have these credentials or display in their certificate. It doesn't mean that if you have studied the information and that you have bought, maybe the books or any other thing, you gotta discard them straight. There most likely be a transition period for the vendors normally before they can actually. Um, that is a disclaimer there, but then I believe that is normally like there is a time period for all these vendors to like change for the new certifications. But then just know that for effective, this is what you have on your certificate, the SY0-601 as of August 1. That will be effective. That is testing is going to be based on that. So a certified candidate will possess the skills required to assess an enterprise security posture. That is what is required for you when you pass these exams. Recommend implementation of appropriate security solutions, possessing of the SY601 solidify that this particular individual or candidate is able to secure network, including the monitoring of cloud environment, IoT and mobile devices, or mobile computing. The individual is able to understand applicable laws and security policies, and be able to implement security governance, incident response and event response, risks and organizational compliance solutions. So this particular individual, when you possess that or you acquire this security plus the SY601, you are able to cover these all important areas. So in terms of percentage, what changes in area of exams objective between the SY501 and the SY601? On the domain, respectively on the SY501 on the exams objective. So on the SY501, we have threat, attacks and vulnerability is at 21%, technology and tool 22%, architecture and design 15%, identity and access management 16%, risk management at 14%, and cryptography and PKI at 12%. So on the SY06-601, on the domain, the different domains that you have and the percentage of exams, so which correlates their attacks, threats, and vulnerability, it goes for 24%, architecture and design 21%, implementation 25%, operation and incident response at 16%, governance and risks and compliance at 14%. So if you look at the different domains in terms of testing requirement, the exams is more streamlined on the 601. So there are different topics that are added. You have, for example, instead of the 21% on the 501 is at 24%. That is for threat, attack, threat, and vulnerability. And architecture and design was at 15% on the 501, and it has been increased to 21% on the 601. So you have implementation that was not on the 501 being incorporated at 25% on the 601. You have operations and incident response at 16%, which is also another change, and governance and risk management, which is not. So important topics that we are taking up is cryptography, risk management. Some of these topics are being incorporated as subtopics on the SY601s instead of being them as a separate domains. So this is the percentage changes that you need to understand on the SY601 and changes that happens from the SY501 to SY0501 to SY0601 exams objectives. So the testing details for the SY0601, since this is the new exam, that is what we're going to concentrate on. So the number of maximum questions that you'll be tested is 90. And then with the type of questions are based on multiple choice and performance-based questions. I will show on video some of these multiple choice and performance-based the drag and drop questions within a length of 90 minutes that you're required to answer all these questions. And then you have a passing score of 750 on a scale of 100 to 900. And then CompTIA required it's for you as a recommendation that you have at least 2 years of industrial experience. That is just a recommendation that they're asking about for you to have at least. These 2 years should be on system administration that is focusing on the application of security. So, how for you to prepare for these exams? Um, CompTIA encourage you to use the CompTIA exams objective. So each exams that you go in for, there is an exams objective that is available to you, which you can use. So you'll be given a scenario and you should be tested to be able to analyze the security posture of an enterprise and implement the appropriate security solutions. And also you will be able to need to provide answers to performance-based questions, which requires you to like implement some sort of security solution, like be able to configure. I will show that on a demonstration here, and then be able to drag and drop stuff. Given a question, be able to drag and drop. So the drag and drop like questions. This is an example, the OSI model in order of importance. Looking at from the topmost layer, which is the top layer, layer 7, down to layer 1, or you take it from layer 1 to layer 7, wherever way you want to take it. You put them in order of importance. So at the end of the day, you have to fill in these blocks on here. So each of these is going to a different area on the OSI model. So for example, here on layer 1, the physical layer should be put in here. Then we have the presentation layer goes onto here, and then the transport layer comes in here. So at the end of the day, you will see it's supposed to be like this from each respective layer. We have layer 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For the first layer physical, data link, network, transport session, presentation, and the application there. So we'll fill in this as a drag and drop and we'll drag this one and drop it here, and also this one and drop it here. So these are example live questions for drag and drop questions on the sort of like exams questions that you need to understand on the Security Plus, and if you time to take the exams, sort of like stuff that you need to understand that you have simulation based questions, which is a performance based questions. You have the drag and drop, then you have the objectives questions. So, guys, this is the CompTIA. This is one of the simulations, kind of like a question that you can use for practice and stuff, trying to understand the concept, the type of exams question that are going to come, so sort of like example. So this is a simulation. They give you a question like this, which is as the question, test question readers, after experiencing an attack on its server, company A hires a cybersecurity analyst to configure DMZ and increase security measures. Shortly after the network was reconfigured, an assistant on the second floor reported that one of the executives could not access the internet, more specifically the HTTPS CompTIA.org. However, he said they can send internal email using the internet and print on the local network area printer. The instructions for you to complete this exercise: check the IP address and connectivity for each of the workstations to determine which is affected machine, to use the information to ensure that the access control list ACL is properly configured to allow workstation access to the internet. The router access control implements an implicit deny. Only make changes to the correct connectivity issue if at any time you would like to bring results back to the initial state of the simulation. Please click reset all, which is this for you to reset all answers. So that is like simulation. And if you look at all components here, all of them these are disabled. This is the interface that CompTIA is talking about. This is a switch. This is other workstation 1, workstation 2. So this is where the problem is. So if you look at this, you have an interface, then you have an access control list. So that is what is required for you to answer the question. And then you have here, which you can type commands. And here as also, it's required to be able to type command. My objective is just to show you, provide you a demonstration, not to answer actually the question. And for as a demonstration purpose, I'm going to take a look at one of the rule. CompTIA always say for you to answer this question from if you show question here, you'll be able to show it like this. So use only make sure the changes are correct, only that issue. So let's say on all this, I decided to like maybe say this rule, take out this rule. So I see that is just for demonstration to see what actually they're going to tell me. So if I hit the submit button, so you can see I have 2 out of 4. So, but then the thing that you need to understand during the exams, this sort of a question, which is a performance-based question, you will not see the grading like this. So that's why CompTIA is saying during an actual CompTIA certification, you will not receive a stop on submission of performance-based question. So that is the key that you need to see. So it's very important for you to understand these performance-based questions on a particular exam. So how can I do it, or how can you do it? How can you prepare for this particular examination? You can do instructor-led training, like you do like boot camps. You can go for boot camps, which you have an instructor that can interact with you. You can have video training. You can buy from CompTIA as well. You can do self-study, which means you buy your own book, you buy your own material, you study your own at your own pace. And you gotta consider the downside. If you look at my previous video, you'll be able to understand what is the difference between instructor-led program and self-study program, or what are the advantages and disadvantages of this. So you can study and go through different chapters, the review questions, each chapter, whether it's CompTIA or whatever study guide that you bought, they have a review chapter that you can go through. So you can go through those chapters, then you have review questions on each chapter. You have important area, also known as exams essentials, that you can go through. The more you expose, you also do exams preparation review questions. The more you expose yourself to questions and reviews, the more it's better for you to be understanding of the different exams. So we also provide our partner with CompTIA in providing training. If you're interested, you can visit my website at www.cybersecurity.com. We are CompTIA authorized training partners. We partner with CompTIA to provide different training for individuals. And if you have questions, always you can send it info@cybersecurity, or you can contact the website that